Prime Minister Narendra Modi leaves for Japan, where there will be 40 hours, 23 meetings on agenda for the Prime Minister. Will be, of course, the Quad Summit in Tokyo. Prime Minister Modi will be holding bilateral talks with US President Joe Biden, Japan Prime Minister Kishida and Australia's new elected Prime Minister Albanese. Remember, it will be Biden-Modi one-on-one talks on Tuesday. That could possibly become the highlight. For now, a visit to further the force of global good is how the Ministry of External Affairs of India is defining as Prime Minister Modi emplanes for Tokyo for the Quad Leaders Summit. And there will be, of course, varied topics from China challenge in the Indo-Pacific to the war in Ukraine. That and more, of course, all will be on agenda in India. Today's On the Ground in Tokyo will be getting you all the latest, including what will be the steps apart from the Quad Summit, the post-COVID recovery status of the world, building on health security, steps to combat the climate actions and sustainable infrastructure projects to create a resilient supply chain. All of this will be on the planned schedule itinerary. These are the visuals coming in on your screen as Prime Minister Narendra Modi emplanes and leaves for Tokyo. Will be reaching there in just about a short while. Ministry of External Affairs defines this as a visit to further the force of global good. My colleague Poulomi Saha is in Tokyo today and she gets us the latest from the ground. Of course, in the next few hours, Poulomi Prime Minister will be there. What is first on schedule and thereon what is on the itinerary?
Well, Pooja, the Prime Minister is expected to land in Tokyo at about 8 a.m. Tokyo time, and after that there will be, of course, a welcome accorded to him by the Indian community as he arrives at the hotel where he will be staying over the next 48 hours when, of course, he has several engagements and he will be, of course, moving around the city of Tokyo in order to, of course, attend those engagements. So that is going to be the first program of the day. Tomorrow, the entire day is, of course, dedicated to business because he has a lot of business meetings. He will have a couple of one-on-one meetings with big corporates, including the CEO of SoftBank Group, the CEO of NEC, of Uniqlo, and also of Suzuki Motor Corporation. So there will be separate meetings with the heads of these corporations, and then there will be a roundtable with a Japanese business delegation. Remember that Japan has already, when Prime Minister Fumio Kishida visited India in March, has pledged 5 trillion yen in public and private enterprises as far as India is concerned. And of course, India is looking to enhance that economic cooperation between the two nations as well. So the focus is going to be economics and business as Prime Minister Modi, of course, goes about his engagements for the day on the first day of his visit, which is the 23rd. Of course, at the end of the day, there will be an Indian community event which he will be attending, where the Indian community will be, of course, according their welcome to Prime Minister Modi as he, of course, comes to Japan and interacts with the Indian community as well. So that is the schedule for the 23rd of May. On the 24th of May, of course, is the most significant part of this visit, which is the Quad Summit. So the Quad leaders will be, of course, kickstarting the day with that summit itself. President Joe Biden will be there, of course. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida and also Australian Prime Minister, the newly elected Australian Prime Minister Albanese will be also present during that meeting. He's also, of course, scheduled to have separate bilaterals with the US President Joe Biden, also with the Australian Prime Minister, and of course with the Japanese Prime Minister as well. A dinner will be hosted for the Quad leaders as well by the Japanese Prime Minister.
And this is, of course, a reference after Europe to Japan, that how India is coming across as perhaps a significant power, and this because this is around the Ukraine war, not taking a direct stand on the war, and yet coming across as a country that clearly, whether it's Joe Biden, whether it's the Australian Prime Minister or the Japanese Prime Minister, of course, that India is definitely making a mark globally as well.
Absolutely. Of course, the statement doesn't say specifically that Ukraine will come up for discussion as the Quad leaders meet, but they have, of course, alluded to that fact. The Ministry of External Affairs in India has alluded to that fact. The Foreign Secretary, Vinay Quatra, as he addressed the media ahead of the Prime Minister's visit, has also alluded to the fact that matters of global and mutual interest will come up, and Ukraine is likely to feature. It did feature in the virtual conference that the Quad leaders had in March earlier this year, and so it is likely to feature as well, because it is an invasion that is still ongoing, and the situation continues to be one of conflict, and hence it is going to feature very in a big significant manner in that meeting. And of course, as you said, India has of course maintained a steadfast position. As far as admonishing Russia is concerned, India has not stated anything categorically or on the record, but it has of course maintained very categorically that there has to be an immediate cessation of violence and hostilities, and both parties need to come to the dialogue table, because dialogue and discussion is the only way forward in trying to resolve this crisis. So that is, of course, going to be one of the more important subjects which is discussed as the four leaders of the Quad grouping meet.
Business and economy, as Poulomi is telling us, and Poulomi is in Tokyo. She'll be tracking each and every update, and of course ensuring that we get the top-notch coverage coming in from Japan, as Prime Minister is now heading to the country. It's a two-day trip, and of course very important, the biggest highlight will be on Tuesday with the Quad Summit. Poulomi, thank you so much for now. Prime Minister Modi leaves for Japan and will be there in just a short while, but it will be the Quad Summit that of course all the eyes will be set on.